remember when I first went in Geordie, I was the girl that kept saying cushion for the pushing.
To be made to feel like we were absolutely disgusting because of our body size was insane. Everyone called me a fat slag, so I thought, well, I can't change the slag part, but if I could change the fat part,
bit, yeah.
that is what I looked like.
Yes.
After surgery, I gained weight, it taught me nothing, and I can't turn back the clock.
One thing I want to do is raise our children to be like, you are unbelievable and beautiful no matter what you are. What the fuck is going on? I feel like death right now. You have an abscess grown inside. If that bursts, you could potentially die. Today's one is a big one.
Oh,
This
they're all
one
big.
is very close to our heart.
It is.
And something I think a lot of people do struggle with.
Yep.
Obviously, you've been very open about, you know, the things that you've been through with body image, weight as well. I think that has been such a massive thing in our whole world of being on TV.
Yeah.
When we started TV, we didn't care about the size or shape or body we had, but everybody else did. And this, I hate this, but we were scrutinised by being a size 12 to 14.
I know. And I think that I was the same size as all of my friends from home. So
Same.
Like, we were all like 12 to 14.
Yep.
Going into Geordie Shore, I knew I would probably be a bit bigger than like other girls, but I didn't ever expect the scrutiny that came with it and the trolling. And I didn't expect, as you know, a size 12 to 14, which is a standard size woman.
Yeah.
That's not even considered like mid-size, never mind plus size. Not that it matters, but to be made to feel like we were absolutely disgusting because of our body size was insane. Like, I look back at pictures now and I'm like, yeah, I had big boobs pushed up to my neck, whatever.
I always thought your figure was unbelievable. by the way.
Really?
Yes, because your stomach was always flat, but you had the curve.
I always had like a relatively flat stomach. I've always gained my weight in my legs and my bum. But I was just like, I can't believe I was ever made to feel so bad.
Same.
And like you were as well, me and you got it
We were
so
called
bad.
fat slags probably
Fat
every
slags
day.
every day.
And that was actually normality.
Did you know 51% of Britons report feeling under pressure to have the perfect body? 61% of women say this and 40% of men say this, according to a 2021 YouGov body image study. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes complete sense. So 61% of women say they feel under pressure to have the perfect body.
Right.
How do you feel about that?
I honestly feel like it could have been more. I don't know how many people did this study, but obviously, like, going on these statistics, I think I get it. A lot of women feel a lot of pressure with body image. And do I think it is changing? Yes, maybe a little bit more, but it all comes around and it's like, it's went back to skinny girl image now. When it was curvy at one point. Trends change.
So back in 2010, obviously, when we, like the Kardashians were very much popular, and kind of, I think I first got a BBL in 2016. So it was that kind of era. Like, I feel like they kind of go in like 10-year spans.
Yeah.
So back then, from like 2010 to say 2020, was very much all about the curve. It was about the
curves.
BBL.
Yeah.
It was about having a big bum and a small waist.
Big bum, small waist.
Now, I feel like we're in the Ozempic era.
Yeah.
And we are very much in a state of everyone being super slim.
Super
I mean,
slim,
how
yeah.
did you handle the trolling back in the day? Because social media was so new and everyone just said it with their chests. It wasn't even like random accounts.
We've went through so much when it came to this body image, and I think like we wanted quick fixes.
Yeah.
And I did really, really struggle. Now, I'll never forget this, but I got papped on the sly when I was in like Barcelona somewhere with an ex-boyfriend who was very chiseled, very ripped. He was a fitness model. He used to do all the competitions. And this photo still goes around to this day. It's like, no matter what, he still loves me. And like, it's like I'm a meme now.
You're a meme?
I'm a meme. So it's me with this curvy frame and him like chiseled, ripped and a fitness model, and like it got so many comments. I think it came back around like last year again, and still to this day that haunts us. And I think like for me dealing with it, I probably didn't deal with it, to be honest. I really did struggle, especially when I was going out with someone who was really into the fitness. I always wanted to be slim, but I was never a gym girly.
Yeah.
And I always loved my food.
Yeah.
And that was hard to change. I didn't want to eat less calories. I enjoyed eating.
But I don't even think we really knew back then
We didn't know about
calories.
nutrition, yeah.
So back then we didn't know about calories. People weren't preaching calorie deficit. It was very much
Quick
that
fat,
didn't
fix fat diet.
actually teach you
No.
the science behind why you actually lose
Which
weight.
is what you learnt later on.
Of course.
But back then you've got to remember, we were also on Geordie Shore.
Yeah.
And we were living in a house. Remember, we used to go in there like feeling quite good and slim. And then we'd live there for
gain a
6 weeks.
stone.
Exactly. We were drinking every night, you know, the calories and alcohol.
Eating kebab.
Yeah, so I think like, you know, how did even you feel back then as well? Like,
I think it was just like, oh my God, I'll do anything to kind of get slim. So I tried all the diets. I tried all the diet products. I ended up with bulimia because of it. Like I would make myself sick. It turned into an eating disorder, which, you know, at the time I didn't think it was because I didn't realise that somebody who was overweight could have an eating disorder. Well, an eating disorder isn't categorised by the size or shape of your body. It's a mental illness.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing to do with your size or your shape. You can be obese with bulimia and it's people can't grasp that. So I never felt like I had an issue.
Yeah.
It was just my way of controlling the situations around me and the food. But yeah, and then God, I didn't learn all of the right things until 2019. Like it took such a long time. And I think now we are in an era where we do have access to so much information now.
social media has helped in that way, yeah.
And I think for me, how I overcame doing that and making myself sick was only when I met Jacob and he was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm just going to go and be sick.
And you normalise it so
like,
much.
I shouldn't laugh.
Quite
But
open about it.
Yeah, what?
And I tried to do it because I was like, oh, well, yous are all
wanted
doing
to
it.
copy?
I wanted to copy, which is just ridiculous in my head because yous would eat and then throw it up. And I was like, maybe I should do that now
Yeah.
because I feel like really awful. And it's sad, like really sad, because there was no other knowledge.
But when I met Jacob, he was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm just going to go and be sick. He was like, what do you mean? What do you mean you're going to go and be sick? I was like, oh, it's just what I do. And he's like, that's not okay. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll stop then.
I remember having access to these like websites and then they'd tell you like how many calories to eat and like what to do. And I was trying to brainwash myself to have anorexia, which is so sad.
wild.
Like that is not okay. Like what the hell was I thinking and doing?
I mean, thankfully, we got out
Got out of it,
relatively
yeah, of
unscathed.
course, yeah.
And I mean, well, here's another statistic for you. So 1 in 5 adults, 20% felt shame, and just over 1/3, 34% felt down or low, and 19% felt disgusted by their body image, according to a 2019 Mental Health Foundation study. I mean, I get it. Like, I'd love to sit here and be like, oh, that's shocking. But I actually would have thought it would be more because I deal with women on a daily basis and I know how they feel. I know, I see it all the
You've learned
time.
so much about.
And I know how much, especially as a mother, how much your body changes, how unconfident you feel after that, and how without the right education and knowledge, people are going down the routes of the skinny jabs and, you know, not eating and getting into, you know, disordered eating. And that's exactly what we want to get away from.
Yeah.
Can you actually remember the first time you ever felt like you were conscious of your body? Do you ever remember the first time? Because I do.
I think, like, remember when I first went in Geordie, I was the girl that kept saying cushion for the pushing.
Yeah.
And can you remember
That was your
my
tagline.
Can you remember my intro? I was on a treadmill.
You were on a treadmill.
So I think like it started from that moment.
Really?
So from that moment, why was I on a treadmill
That's quite late.
But why was I saying cushion for the pushing? Like all the lads, I don't know what I was saying, but I think I was eating a Subway maybe, like on the treadmill. Anyways, it like all began at that one point because before that, I actually don't think I was that bothered. I'll be honest. Yeah. I don't think it was a big thing with me and my friends or growing up. Like my family was revolved around eating and food. That's how we all bonded. It wasn't through alcohol and parties.
Yeah,
it was food. So honestly, I think we were all accepted having a bit of meat on us because we loved our food. When was yours?
So I remember, do you remember when it was like own clothes day at school?
Yes.
So I'd been, you pay £1. So I was in primary school. And I'd been to Woolworths.
Yeah.
And in Woolworths, I'd got this little denim pleated skirt.
Yeah.
And I think I was 8 years old at the time, but I didn't fit in the size 8. So I've got an age 10, not size 8. The age 8.
10, yeah.
So I'd got an age 10. Anyway, a girl there was wearing the same skirt.
Right.
And she went, oh, what size is yours? And I was like, oh, I don't know. And she was like, let me look. So she went, oh my God, that's an age 10. Looks more like a size 10. And I was like,
oh my God.
I was like, oh my, and I was so embarrassed and mortified because she was skinnier and she was 8 wearing an age 8 skirt. And for me, I was like, oh my God, why am I 8 wearing an age 10 skirt? That's obviously really big. And from that point on, I think that was like, I've tried to be on a diet ever since. So that was really
it's sad, that isn't it?
sad.
That 8 years old. And I think like a lot of kids now are so open to social media and seeing things on social media. Like I've got a friend and her daughter even says like, I'm fat. I'm fat. Like, how sad is that?
Well, my children will not be having social
never,
media.
Like, no, never. And
until they're 16.
Look, and I know you can't keep away from it, but one thing I want to do is raise our children to be like, you are unbelievable and beautiful no matter what you are. But again, no matter how many times you can say that, they're still going to get these feelings.
It's difficult because it's like, thankfully now, I am raising my children in a household that is healthy, that is active.
Of course, that know about it.
I didn't get raised in a household that was healthy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
That was active. I didn't see I only lived with a single parent. She didn't go to the gym.
Yeah.
We had good home cooked meals, but the portion sizes were big. But I learned that food gave me comfort. So if I'm eating like a pasta dish with loads of cheese, like that would give me comfort.
Yeah.
And from very early on, I used food as a comfort crutch and as a kind of dopamine hit. And it's very much tied to like ADHD as well. So the reason I love biscuits so much is that it regulates me.
Yeah, you get that kick.
The crunch like calms me down. And it's only since recognizing that trigger that I'm like, oh, I understand it now. And I can do other things that can stop that. But I wonder how different my life would have been had I have grown up in a household that was mine.
Yeah,
like the household that I'm raising my child in.
Yeah, of course. When it came down to obviously getting surgery, I mean, we started surgery quite young, especially with the boobs and stuff. But when we went on to body surgery, I think starting to get like the liposuction era, that changed the game a lot. And I know people now who've had a lot of lipo but will not speak about it. Like I know
we know a lot of people.
But unfortunately, we were very open.
And we know a lot of people with skinny BBLs as well.
BBL.
Just, unfortunately,
you just don't speak about
ours were very extreme and we couldn't get away with hiding it. There are so many people in the industry with a BBL.
And people think that it's like real abs, and I'm like, that's
not your
I know the surgeon you went.
I know you went to Grant.
So for us, I think because we were so open with surgery and what we got, people then also judge. So like, say if we did start getting fit and we'd go to the gym, people didn't want to listen to that. They'd go, well, she's had lipo. She's slim because she's had lipo. Like when we say lipo doesn't make you like tiny unless you do train. Well, that is what people didn't know.
The perfect candidate for liposuction is somebody who is already thin, who may have a pocket of fat that they need that they want to get rid of.
Yes.
So let's say someone's got a little bit of
I had that. That's
fat.
what I had this line,
and it's like it's not for people who want to lose weight, who are unhappy with their body image as a whole. So I think when I went and got my BBL, I just instantly I got it. The first time I had a BBL was in England. And I paid 12 grand.
Was that all right, that one?
No, I didn't do much. So it was very conservative. It didn't do much. By like literally 6 months later, you couldn't tell the difference.
Right.
Then I went about 9 months later to Turkey. Bear in mind, I paid for all these, paid 5 grand. Actually, they gave me a grand discount, but I didn't have to promote it because I never would have promoted that surgery. Went and had that one done. I looked absolutely ridiculous. Never looked worse, but I just pretended that I liked it because I'm in it now.
Well, yeah, of course.
I've got to say to my mama, I love it. I love it so much. And then I ended up having to go to another surgeon to kind of fix all the lumps and bumps that surgeon in Turkey had left. And I think in that one, I spent about 25 grand in total.
I remember, you did on that.
I spent a lot of money. However, he did fix everything to a point of where, this is how I look. I got that done in, I think, 2016.
It's nearly 10 years ago.
It's a decade ago.
Yeah.
So now, if I post anything fitness related, all of my pictures that I use, the before picture is after surgery.
Right.
And this is the issue that well, everyone can look like that after surgery.
Yeah, of course.
And my point is, the first image is the image of me after surgery. That is what I looked like.
Yes.
After surgery. I gained weight, it taught me nothing, and I can't turn back the clock. So all I can do now is be honest and use my platform to be like, this is what I looked like post-surgery.
Post-surgery, yeah.
With
After
a
getting it
bad
all, yeah.
diet, after spending 40 fucking grand, probably more, to look worse than I did when I started.
Yeah.
The body that you see after is the body that I've worked hard for.
A lot of people think like getting lipo, getting surgery is going to make you slimmer, but we just want to put out there, it's not. I regret so much now getting a BBL. It's probably the worst thing I ever did.
Yeah.
I actually had a curvy figure.
Yeah.
Like my bum wasn't, yes, it was quite flat, but I would have been the
built
best
it.
candidate for building the bum.
So, like, tell me the story of actually what happened for anyone who doesn't know with the BBL.
With the BBL death story. Death.
We laugh about it, but it's traumatic.
I know, it is traumatic, but I obviously got the BBL when I was like about 24, and straight after, it just felt really weird.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
I was black and blue, and my bum was flat. It didn't curve. It was like too flat.
It's not what you want.
It was just bizarre. It just looked wrong. And I remember being in so much pain from the get-go. It was about like 4 or 5 weeks after you were safe to fly, and I was going to Mexico with my ex-partner. And when I got there, I started getting really feverish, and I started getting really hot, and I was like, I really don't feel well. And every time I'd sit down, my whole leg would go numb. Anyways, the next day, I was like, nah, I really feel like I'm going to faint. I cannot eat. I cannot sleep. The pain is excruciating. Why is it in one side? And I had like looked at my bum, and it was like red. I had a red lump. So I was like, I'm going to have to go to hospital. Like, I don't feel right. So I was rushed into hospital.
Wow.
And I was in a Mexican hospital that couldn't really speak much English.
Yeah.
They were like running wild, and they were making this commotion around us. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I had like tubes attached to us. They like put like cannulas. I was getting like a scan, you know, like one that you put in your belly. Ultrasound scan. They did that, and I was like, pain. And they did that, and they were like, oh my God. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? I feel like death right now. And they were all like running around. Anyways, an interpreter came, and they were like, hey, we just want to tell you that you have an abscess grown inside of your left buttocks. If that bursts, you could potentially die because it could go sepsis. So at that point, I was like, fuck, if I'm going to die, I don't want to die in Mexico on my own.
From a botched BBL.
From a botched BBL. I need my family around me. So literally, I don't know if it was that night or the next day, I got a flight straight away, flew straight to the UK. I think like my family, when my dad maybe picked us up from the airport, went to South Shields Hospital, my local hospital, straight in, ran in there. They were like, right, surgery straight away.
Thank God.
Went in there, and I said to them, please, whatever you do, I was still like begging them, whatever you do, please don't let a scar happen. Please don't. Like, I'm about to fucking die, Sophie. Like, what the fuck? And I was like, please, I don't want this scar, please. Anyways, went straight in there, put to sleep. And apparently, they cut the thing out, and there was 1 litre of pus.
Jesus Christ.
1 litre. They drained out of this whole side. Like, think of a litre of water.
Well, yeah.
Pus. They can't stitch it open. It needs to heal from the inside out. So I had to leave this gaping wound in my left butt cheek. That was like that. You could see the inside, and it was like, you know, like you see like the fat layer, and you could see all the layers, and it would go right down. So like everything was just hell. Going to the toilet, walking, I was just dripping of blood, and I had to get this packed every single day to heal. Finally, it did heal, and then I had
left you with like a concave scar.
Concave, like I couldn't wear anything.
And it was like that.
It was gaping.
It was big, wasn't it?
It was really, really big.
A big delve in your bum.
I've had reconstruction surgery, like surgery to get cut out, but still there. Still got the din, and it hurts if I press on it. So that is my story. And thank
You
God
could have went septic. Like, I think
Holly, I
you
could have
probably
been
were slightly
dead.
septic with the way that you felt.
Dead.
Yeah.
It was just, the worst probably scenario. I've never been so close to death, and I'm here to tell the tale.
Thank God.
Thank God. So I'm very lucky I'm even sitting here to this day, and went through liposuction like twice to reverse the damaged one. And then after that, I had loose skin because yo-yo dieting. After that, people think, right, we need to like tell people this. When you get liposuction, it will change your body shape. But it will not make you lose a lot of weight, and it won't make you slim unless you diet and exercise with it. It's very important you do that if you want to get that. For me, I didn't. I got lipo, thought I could eat what I wanted. I end up getting bigger, and that really got me down. And then I tried to lose it. Now I ended up with a lot of excess skin, and that made me even more like worried about like my body and the way I looked. I would have to wear really high-waisted stuff, and then if I did, I'd have a roll, and that was making us insecure. I'd do photo shoots, I'd do, you know, our life is on camera, or like bikinis filming and getting all these kind of things. So I went and got a reverse tummy tuck, and I will be honest, it did change my life, and it made me feel better. But if I didn't start all that in the beginning, I wouldn't have been at that. I wouldn't have needed it. So I did that. Obviously, the BBL now, having about to have a baby and thinking about going on holiday with my child, and I'm walking around with a baby, but I've got this big nappy hanging out the backside of it. Like, that is just not the image I want to put out there. I don't want that attention. Like, I don't know if you feel the same, but sometimes I feel like I have to cover my bum because I don't want people looking, and it makes us insecure. So that's where I'm sort of at with my body image. I would love to reverse all this, but family and kids are first. That's priority to me. Once I've did that, then I will probably go down that route of, you know, looking after my body again.
Yeah, it's so hard because I actually reduced my BBL. Well, it grew in pregnancy astronomically.
I remember you doing this fitness thing, didn't you?
Oh my God, astronomically, no pun intended. But it grew so much, and I had to wear shirts all the time. I couldn't ever just walk around like without a shirt covering my bum because I was so self-conscious. And I remember I'd lost a bit of weight, and I posted on social media just a funny video of me and Alpha Jacks. It went viral.
What did the bum?
And everyone was saying I look like a wisdom tooth, which I found quite funny, actually. I was shaped like a wisdom tooth. Like, I can laugh about it. I think it's funny. But like, it had hit America. Like, it went viral. I think it got 11 million views.
Oh my God, I remember this video. I remember
and
it.
I gained 3,000 followers in a day.
You've used that video now, haven't you?
Yeah, so, no, the video's still there.
I thought you've used it for before and after stuff.
No. It's just it's a video of me just doing, like, pretending I'm doing a box fit.
Right.
And the video was like, oh my God, you look like a wisdom tooth. This is horrendous. And I'm just like, I had a baby 9 weeks ago. Like,
that is horrendous.
That was my postpartum body, and it was getting trolled so much. So there was this pressure. So then I was like, right, I'm going to try and like reduce my BBL as much as I can, because it is just fat. You can lose it with diet and exercise. So I reduced it down, and I got to quite a low body weight for me. But unfortunately, that body weight for me isn't sustainable long term. So yes, I can get my body down to a point where I feel like it's not noticeable and it doesn't look like I've had a BBL. But I can't maintain that weight. Because that means I have to give up so much. And I want to still be able to enjoy life. I want to not be super restrictive.
You want to balance, of course.
So I am possibly going to have to go under the knife again to fix
to try and get that
the
down.
issue. And I mean, pregnancy for me, I just feel awful in pregnancy.
But at least you're honest with that.
And I don't care. At the end of the day, I don't like looking like this.
Of course, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, yes, you're growing a human, but it's so much pressure on your own body.
And there's so much pressure to say that you love your pregnancy body.
And like, even I've been like that. Like, I keep saying, like, I can't wait after pregnancy where you just eat well again and feel better and look better.
Like, I don't want to have to be, like, I'm so grateful for being pregnant.
Same.
But that has absolutely no correlation to how I feel about how I look in pregnancy. I like to be fit. I like to be strong. I like to be healthy. Pregnancy removes that because you're eating what you need to eat at the time, what your body's craving, and you need to honour those cravings.
Of course,
You are bigger because you're growing a child. I mean, when you're growing a child when you're 5'3" and had body issues,
We
I
hold
go
a lot.
wider.
Yeah, and I think because we're both small,
Yeah.
it feels bigger, and we're just not. Listen, some people can embrace that, and people love being pregnant, and I get that. They are like probably very different to us, but I think because of our industry, the world that we're being brought up with, we've always got this body image in the back of our head.
Yeah.
So regardless being pregnant or not, we've always got this little thing and the nibbling at the back on, well, you don't look like how you used to. I've heard like even in pregnancy and girls' pregnancy, noses and stuff can get wider.
Oh, my nose does get wide,
heard
actually. I'm
about
not at that stage yet.
No,
though.
but I had a friend who's pregnant with a girl, and she was wearing a nose cast with tape to keep it
Don't think that's
slimmer.
gonna do much.
How crazy is that? And then people I know Kim Kardashian, in pregnancy, even she struggled in pregnancy.
Yeah.
She was open about that, about her ankles, about the way she looked.
Well, she had preeclampsia, so
Yes.
she had
So
hair
like these
swelling.
things can happen, and
Yeah.
it does change the way you look. Like in my first trimester, I looked at myself and I was crying because I was like, oh my God, this is awful. I was like,
Yeah,
I
why am
actually
I
don't
so
look like
ugly?
myself. And I was like, I feel really, really ugly. And honestly, me self-confidence just went.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, got really insecure. And I was like, how am I going to get through pregnancy? Because I want to embrace it and I want to enjoy it. But looking at myself in the mirror, I don't feel like me. And it was
Yeah.
just, it still is a battle because you don't. And I've heard even like after your second pregnancy, like things change. Your hips can just widen forever.
Well, your hips widen anyway in pregnancy, so as much as the hips do widen and go down,
And
like
does that last?
well, yeah, it can. And I've got a few clients who, they are the same weight that they were pre-pregnancy, but their bodies have changed because the hips have widened. Like, it is a whole biological change and physiological, and like everything changes when you have a baby, and people don't realise it.
I think as well, like people have got this like perception of you have to bounce back.
Yeah.
Now I've got this in my head, like people look at other people and you're like, you got to bounce back.
Yeah.
Not everyone bounces back.
I didn't fucking bounce. It took me.
No.
It took me such a long. I grafted my arse off back. The bounce back for me did not happen.
And some people can. I think genetics, how they carry a baby.
A lot of it is due to genetics. A lot of people say, "Oh, breastfeed and you'll lose weight." That's not a thing. You actually need more calories if you're breastfeeding.
Yeah.
So I think it's just so important to talk about these body changes, and also like make women aware that it's okay if you don't enjoy the way you look in pregnancy. It's okay if you don't love every part of it. Our bodies are the least interesting thing about us, and as much as we care about them, we should be seen for so much more.
And I think as well, like pregnancy is 9 months of your life. And
Yeah.
this is what I keep thinking to myself. It's not forever. The outcome is going to be beautiful when you've got your little baby in your arms. It isn't a forever thing.
Listen, don't listen to anyone who says you'll never get your body back, like you'll never look how you used to. And like, yeah, it may be partly true because your hips might have widened or you might have a few more stretch marks, but I am proof that you can be the fittest and in the best shape of your life post-pregnancy.
Yeah. But one thing I want to speak about is a lot of people told me to go on Ozempic. I will say, like, I even struggled doing that because I didn't feel good. Mentally, I wasn't okay.
Yeah.
It was like more not eating and not getting the nutrition, and you're tired and you didn't want to work out. But I know like a lot of people now are doing all that, and that's fine. Some people are having amazing results. But I think as well, if you are doing these skinny jabs and stuff, like you probably say to people as well, like you still need to work out and eat well. You need that nutrition.
Yeah, the issue is people are. It's like putting a plaster on a leak. Like once that plaster gets too wet and it starts to come off, the leak's still there. Like you're not actually fixing the root cause. Now, what I will say is Mounjaro, Ozempic, all of these have their place. They are for people who are morbidly obese, who've got health issues, who need something, who have tried everything before and who are actually more at risk of the obesity-related illnesses and diseases. Now, what we are seeing is people who are already 9 stone doing these jabs, getting really unwell.
Well, they can just get it from anywhere now.
Well, you can. It's very easy. And I think that's the issue. And now what I see with my clients as well is the fact that a lot of them have been on it and now it's gone up to like £300 a month. They can't afford it.
Yes. And now what?
And now they can't sustain that long term, that medication. And this is the issue.
True, yeah.
If you are giving this drug to somebody who has had a massive food addiction, who the food noise has been so prevalent throughout their entire life, and all of a sudden they take this and they're all of a sudden not hungry, you think they're going to go and eat for the sake of it, for their health? No, they're not, because they've always wanted to be able to do something to be thin.
True.
They feel in control. They feel disciplined.
Yeah.
So no, they're not going to go out and be like, oh, well, I know I need to eat because it's for my health. They just want to think, well, if I don't need to eat, I'm not going to fucking eat.
Yeah.
And this is the issue, the lack of nutrients, the hair falling out, the muscle wastage with these drugs
seen that as well.
so bad. So what happens when people come to me? The rebound of weight has been so heavy because when you lose muscle mass,
after stopping then?
so when they've stopped, they have lost a lot of muscle. So the more muscle mass you have, the higher your resting basal metabolic rate will be.
Yes.
So everybody's got a basal metabolic rate. The more muscle mass you have, the higher that'll be. The lower muscle mass, you will need lower calories because your body is burning less calories at rest. So now the amount of food that they used to consume that was, slowly getting their weight up over time is now rapidly gone.
So they're going to lose weight very quickly.
And to build that muscle back is fucking
really
hard. And this is the thing, I know I don't want to say it, but for lack of a better word, you end up looking like a melted welly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you do
because
look like
your skin and your fat is gone, but your muscle has
all the celebrities now, it's called Ozempic face. Like, you can see when people have been on it. Like, it's shock factor, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Hollywood are all on it. Like, everyone's losing weight, which again is great for people who are overweight, 100%. Who've struggled, but for the people who are already small.
And I think if that is needed and somebody needs that, then yes. But I think the doses that are being given out are so high. It's detrimental to a lot of people. But again, it's got its place.
Yep. I think even we were always wanting a quick fix.
Always, but we've done every quick fix.
You'd go and pay $5 to get weighed.
Pay a $5 at 14 years old for her to tell you, oh, have you exercised this week? Because that might be why you've put on weight.
Yeah, £1.
And it's like, what?
And imagine how damaging that was, like the clap for you. But if you gained £1, it was like they'd look down at you and everyone would be in the room watching you gain that £1. It's all money making. And like even we like got paid to promote these certain things.
Oh God, yeah.
My God, we regret that.
With my lack of education, I did not know that I was just losing water weight. Who the fuck was there to tell me nicely and educate me?
Yeah, no.
No, all I had was a load of PTs in my DMs like, you're a fucking scumbag.
I remember that. It was all going viral, wasn't it?
I was called a scumbag, worse than shit. And I was like, but I lost £5 in a week. It worked for me. I'm so confused. I don't understand.
But you just didn't know the science.
I just didn't know the science. And I get it. And I do understand that I shouldn't have promoted it. And I wish somebody had just took the time
back then
to educate me in a nice way rather than calling me a fucking scumbag money grabber, because I didn't even get the money for it.
No.
Because I didn't post the second post.
Oh, really?
So I just got all the hate.
You did that.
For nothing, because I refused to post the second post.
I think like we're always going to be honest. It's just in us. Geordie Shore made us have no
We've got nothing to lose.
We've got nothing to lose, and we know the backlash of some things are going to happen.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think like well done for us for being open and honest, because imagine me not being able to tell my followers that I nearly died from a BBL because I hid it.
Yeah.
Like now I can educate others, and I think that's the message we like to put out there, whether it's fillers, surgery, whatever we've done, we've made the mistakes. Now people can learn from our mistakes.
Yeah.
And I know there's people out there and celebrities, people in the public eye that might not want to talk about their surgery.
Yeah.
And I get that. They have an image to protect, depending on who they are and what they do for a living.
Yeah.
But I do think sometimes it helps to be honest, because people will look at them and be like, oh my God, they look amazing. I want to look like that.
Yeah.
And you can't physically look like that because the things that they've done isn't natural.
I think for me, obviously, if you are working in like the fitness industry, like me, for example, I have a duty to be honest.
Of course.
I have a duty to let my clients know that I have had surgery. And you know, the majority of clients come to me because I've had surgery.
Right.
Because I've done all the wrong thing, because they've wanted to have surgery in the past.
And
now I get that there's going to be people out there that would say, oh, I don't want to have a trainer who's had surgery before. Completely understand that. If I'm not for you, That's absolutely fine. You can go and find somebody who's danced all their life and done everything perfect. If that's the right person for you, that's absolutely fine. But there are people out there who've made the mistakes, who've done the diet
who've
products,
thought about it,
and they feel like they can relate to me. So I think as long as I'm honest, I do think if you are in the fitness industry, you do have an obligation to disclose if you were doing skinny pens, Manjaro, Ozempic. I do think morally that is something that would make me not be able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
If you've had surgery, I do think you need to, body surgery. You do need to be honest about that if you are in the fitness industry or you're selling anything fitness related. Now, there's this other line of where, okay, well, what if you're not? Do people with a platform, should they be telling us what they've had? Is it any of our business?
Yeah.
Or should we just be left in the dark? I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I know, because look, there is a few celebs out there who've had things done, but I just know because I've been there.
We can see, you can tell the surgeon by the
and
way that
people
abs
talk
look.
in our industry and
A lot of regular people
wouldn't know. And look, like, I can understand, because the people that have had it done, like, they've got big profiles, or they're in a different...
And some of them are in fitness.
Yeah, and it might have made them feel good. They might have had problems that weren't able to get rid of through fitness, and I get that. But for us, I think we'll always remain honest, and I think the public can appreciate that we have been like that.
I think people, like, when you've got such a big platform, so like the Kardashians, I would love to know their surgeons. Like, I just want to know.
Well, Kylie Jenner actually opened up.
Yeah, but it was only boobs.
But imagine how many people he's done boobs for now.
I know. Well, I know a few people who've already been.
And nobody can go to Kris Jenner's facelift because it's 200 grand.
Is he 200 grand?
He's 200 grand.
Start saving now.
Sell the house.
I'm going to have to get remortgage.
I'll never be able to do that.
That would be going to him. But I think we chose to get a BBL because we were like, oh my God, if we just get a BBL, we're going to look like Kim Kardashian. Like, that is genuinely in my stupid how old was I? 22, maybe 22-year-old head, thinking I am going to look like Kim Kardashian. I'm going to be desired. Everyone loves her. So if I have a big bum I thought everyone called me a fat slag. So I thought, well, I can't change the slag part, but if I could change the fat part, I could be a skinny slag with a nice bum.
Just makes it sound a bit better.
And it just a little bit better. So I thought, when I came out of the surgery, the first one, and I looked no different. Then when I came out of the second one and looked like Nicki Minaj in the Super Bass video, probably even worse. And then I was like, oh God, like, this isn't the quick fix that I thought it was. And I was so like...
Same.
I was so ashamed that I'd spent so much money.
Yeah, I bet, yeah.
And that people
you get a house in Newcastle for that, love.
You can. And that people could really tell, and that I actually looked really silly. That wasn't the body that I was born with. It's not my natural figure. There's people out there with natural big bums, small waists, and it looks right, because that's what they were meant to be born with. You can very much tell what a BBL is. And I think I didn't know back then, through my lack of education was what pushed me into these things, because I didn't know another way. Now I know a different way. And I just always think, like, had I have met my trainer, who I met in 2019, prior to that, my life would have been completely different. But I also wouldn't be here now, and I wouldn't be talking
telling
about
that
it
story.
Others,
and like, what I will say is, there's like some people that go to press events and they look like the bollocks. Like, they look amazing on the red carpet, and they just look model-like. They look incredible. And we've said this, it does go down to like the way our body shapes are and what we've done. Like, us wearing a dress fits very differently, and we can only wear certain things. Like, every time I get ready for a night out or somewhere nice or go for dinner, I could cry, because I'm like, I hate the way everything fits. It's not made for an enhanced BBL body. Like, and what have I done? So the day that I get rid of this and I can just wear normal clothes, or like wear like a nice red carpet dress where I don't look like that, and like, I cannot wait, and just get all like them glamorous, nice photos.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. I'm just so excited. I mean, I'm not excited because I know I have to go through another surgery.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And I am nervous about it. And I've had a lot of conversations with my surgeon, and I've said, like, look, please be conservative. if you feel like it's too risky to take,
Yes, too much. Yeah.
don't take. Like, just do what you can, the safest way you can do it. And I think for me, that's the most important. If it's not perfect, it's not perfect. But I'm living every single day, waking up and looking in the mirror and being reminded of a mistake I made a decade ago.
I know.
And I don't want to continue the rest of my life like that.
Feeling like that, yeah.
Because the gravity's already took hold now. Can you imagine the state of my backside at 80 years old?
Yeah.
That's not going to look
No, it doesn't.
or feel great.
No.
It's going to be like a bag of cottage cheese.
Cottage cheese.
So there's a statistic here in the 2023 British Association of Aesthetic Plastic Surgeons. They published a joint statement with Turkish Society of Plastic, Reconstructive and Aesthetic Surgeons, warning of a rise in serious complications and even deaths linked to the significant increase in number of patients travelling abroad for aesthetic plastic surgery.
Yeah, you can't just put a country down
No.
because of them performing things. This is what I think the reason is. In the UK, not many people get surgeries here because it's expensive. And I think there's different rules and regulations in the UK.
Absolutely.
Even in the UK, I've had people who've been botched that know that being botched and stuff. So it doesn't really matter. You've just got to do your research in the surgeons. But yeah, look, it's dangerous in especially BBLs because you are going through you can go through an artery.
Yeah, and I think that's the issue, is that regardless of the amount of research you do, whether it's in the UK, whether it's abroad, I will say that abroad, they, like you just said, they do have different regulations, because never in the UK have I had someone inject me through a piece of clothing.
What?
So when I was in Turkey, I had my garment on, you know, the garment that you have after surgery. They put an antibiotic injection through the garment.
You are joking.
Not even joking. Like, they didn't sterilise the area, they didn't clean the area.
Why didn't they just move you?
Well, they couldn't. It's a big, long garment, isn't it? Like, it's like quite a bit of a ball.
Oh my God.
They jabbed the needle through the clothing and into
could have
my
had
leg.
any bacteria or anything in that.
It's really bad. So
I do remember like going to get the surgery and the surgeon was like, okay, hop on the table now. And I like wasn't wheeled in. I walked myself to the surgery room.
Oh yeah, I've always done that though.
Yeah, and he's like, right, get on now. I was like, all right. And then it was just anesthetic done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will 100% be getting the reversal in the UK.
Yeah.
But the surgeon is very expensive.
What would you say to your younger self about loving your body?
Look, like I'm not Mrs. Perfect, but when I was younger, I did love my body. It's the opposite.
The opposite. What
It's
do you
the
need to tell
opposite
you?
now.
What does your younger self tell you?
Younger self would, my younger self would tell my older self.
Yeah.
Is, you know, yes, there's going to be a lot of hate and there's going to be a lot of trolls in the world that you're going to live in. You cannot listen to them and stay in your own lane. Educate yourself on health and fitness.
Yeah.
Which I do now. You know, I love my juices.
Yeah.
I, you know, take NAD.
Yeah.
I love all that. And I love putting the goodness in my body. And I'm not a gym goer, and I probably never will be, but going for walks and doing all these things, they make me happy.
Yeah.
And I do love being healthy on the inside as well. So I would say I want to keep up with that, but my younger self was probably a lot more happy, confident, didn't really give a shit, cushion for the pushing, used to get my belly and like really go for it. But I do think the world is changing, I will say this.
Yeah.
I will say, like, I put a photo up of, 2016, it was like a trend. My 2016 was me looking curvier and people writing horrible things about us. I don't think that would happen as much now.
It wouldn't.
People embrace it a bit more and they're like, clap for you, and they're like, yes, girl, you go for it.
100%.
Like, people now will show imperfections and be like, Insta versus reality.
Yeah.
The world has changed a bit and I'm all for it. And we are accepting that everybody is different. Everyone is beautiful, no matter what shape, what sizes. And I love that for us. But I think it's very hard when you're going into the shops and you're buying an 8 to 10 or a 10 to 12. No one's the same size.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what needs to change.
100%.
What would you say?
I think it's hard because I would just say you need to go and find this trainer from Bolton and you need to get him to educate you.
It did change your life, yeah.
Because, it's just get the education and don't risk your life for a temporary
Fix.
quick fix that you think it's going to be, because it's not. But at the same time, it's like, I'm glad that I went through all of that, because now I can use my platform and I can make a difference and I can really help people.
It became your job now.
I don't know if I would have got into this industry without all the shit that I'd went through.
True.
So I feel like I had to go through that to be able to find a passion. And then when I did learn it, it's like the easy route's never going to be the route that gets you to where you want to be. Like sometimes the hard route is the route that is the one worth walking, because when you actually get to the end, I've got this purpose now and I help so many people, and that is my long-term career. And helping people understand the things that I didn't know when I was younger, and being able to do that fills me with so much joy.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I actually have a proper purpose in this world.
Yeah.
So yeah,
and you wouldn't have got there without everything you went through.
I'd just say, you be careful, and whatever's meant to be will be. Should we say bye?
We shall.
Bye, guys.
Bye.